Hello friends, Techman Pat here. Hope you are having a great week and weekend. It is the rugby weekend again. I know it's for another 2 weeks. Now, welcome to the weekly Dirt Report. Last week I asked what name I should give this segment as a whole, and there were some really fun suggestions, some that I can't repeat here, but I think the Dirt Report will work very well for now, especially with the topics we cover so far. So thank you very much for all those who took the time to think of a name. I really appreciate it. And actually, I really like it because at the end of the day, it is a bit of dirt on our telcos, NBN Co, and maybe a few other interesting tech topics. Now, in saying that, I would like to start with the small news topics that don't quite get more than a few lines. And we'll put it into this first section of videos like this, and we shall call it Tech Bites. Easy as that. I really like it. Thanks for that suggestion. That was, again, one of the viewers. So let's get started. Facebook, the best thing since sliced heroin. The social drug of choice for many is releasing a news tab update. Also, remember to like us on Facebook. Never forget. Look, I honestly can't count the amount of times Facebook has tried to do news on their platform. This time around, they're dedicating a separate tab for news so you can be told what you need to hear. I cannot honestly say that I can trust news articles that are curated by an entity such as Facebook. Not that some outlets are any more trustworthy. And to note, I would like to thank Rupert Murdoch for his lovely donation to this channel. Forever grateful. I'm joking. With the amount of scandals and information Facebook has about us, they can tailor news that will fit our worldview and solidify views that you might already have or they want you to have. We are all susceptible to stories that fit our views of the world and a little bit of extra stuff in there. And unfortunately, when you call something news, it sounds official. Unfortunately, you have to look at what the outlet gets out of these articles or what value they actually get out of printing this stuff. I expect this to be very problematic when the elections come around. The entity that curates the news articles from multiple sources will have to somehow aggregate these and not be biased. Something I feel is difficult on both paper and in practice, as everyone naturally has a bias. Actually, let me know below if you're thinking of using Facebook's news tab. Would you use them to get your actual news? Or actually tell me, how do you usually get your world news? I'd really like to know. Personally, I get my tech news from YouTube videos and trusted sources, and otherwise all the other assortments of news is from other outlets. As I have found, many have unique spins on each topic. You kind of have to go through each one to get the full understanding of a news topic. Okay, that might have been a bit long, but let's jump into the next tech bite, and it's about security again. I'm so sorry to be babbling on about that one, but it's really important. You may know that using a VPN is a good way to be anonymous online. It is in fact a great way to avoid personalized ads, tracking of your activity and what you buy, and then trying to sell you more of the same stuff, and feeling a bit more privacy in your life. Something that is actually a bit of a luxury in today's connected world. So it's really bad news when a VPN service gets hacked. Now, there are a few issues I would like to bring up. First off, NordVPN is not the first VPN to get hacked, nor will it be the last. The way it got hacked was through a third party, so not directly, and what got hacked was an encryption key that allows you, a single entity, to connect to a single server. A one-to-one connection, so it didn't actually affect more people than one person at a time. It is unknown what information got captured by this hack. What is known is that no actual passwords or emails was taken, and your information is technically safe unless you are unlucky to connect to that one server during the 7-month period when it was hacked. Yes, 7-month period. Now finally, the way NordVPN went about alerting its users was horrible. It took over 8 months to actually announce anything, and they just blamed a third-party hosting service. For a company that values its customers, the privacy of its customers, and touts a VPN as a service for safety and privacy, it's a pretty dumb move to just shift all this blame around. So what does this mean for everyone else? Well, if you have a VPN, it is just another layer of security you can provide for yourself, but it is not in any way infallible. Companies get hacked left, right, and center all year around. It's not new. However, the response from certain companies have made it difficult to trust them again. Let me know if you've deleted your LinkedIn account, because I bet you haven't. Even after they got hacked multiple times now and actually had to change your password. Last one, guys. Optus managed to send over 50,000 mobile numbers to census to print into the white pages. and share on their online version. Well, the problem has been resolved on the online side and the phone numbers have been removed. The printed copies have gone out into the Australian outback, or into the homes of Australians. Optus then sent out snail mail letters to each person, letting them know their privacy has been completely destroyed by them and a mistake like getting it printed in the white pages. So their phone number has unfortunately been leaked out. Luckily, no one uses the white pages anymore, and unless it's for kindling or maybe a monitor stand, it's unlikely that anything will come of it. I'll keep you updated if Optus gets punished in any way, but I really doubt it. Okay, let's get into the big news this week. So I know I just said big news, but this might not be big news for some. It's probably too obvious to be anything newsworthy, but finally it has been noted officially and reported on what is a huge decline in landline services. Part of it would be that NBN doesn't need a phone number to have an internet service. And I remember naked DSL never really took off. Like, I couldn't actually get connected to it. So let me know below if you had an internet connection without a phone line back then before NBN. I would be interested to know how many people actually did, because to get naked DSL, it took weeks to get disconnected, so they had to change some ports. And it was just ridiculous, such a big effort to go through. So, released on Wednesday this week, the report by the Australian Communication and Media Authority has shown a very clear decline in landline phones. And to that point, how does Harvey Norman still have a whole section dedicated to landline phones? And the prices are absurd, like, don't get me started on that. I would love to know if anyone has bought that $300 dual phone handset with all the bling bling and lights and customizable ringtones. Please let me know. Look, many still have a phone line if it is provided by the RSP for free. I mean, who wouldn't turn down something for free? But many have said, and also in our comments below, that the only calls they receive are from scammers, telemarketers, and maybe past lovers. The report went over the last 5 years, surveying what kind of communication technology we use at home, and unsurprisingly found that many were using mobile phones to make calls instead of landlines. That's pretty old news. Now, I remember when I was a teen, my friend and I used to call each other on the landline to book in a spot and time. We would meet at the park to ride our bikes. We would synchronize our watches on the phone like spies. It was great. If you watch all the school spy movies, synchronized watch, bam! And we would be there on time and in the right place. It worked pretty well. Now, the one result of this report that I think is quite interesting is the drop in mobile data use at home, meaning people are using the fixed line internet service more than their mobile internet, meaning that more people are connected to the NBN service and do not have to rely on mobile internet. That is actually impressive, and the whole point of this story was to get to that topic. Now, part of the reason this is happening, I think, could be the automation in recent mobile phone operating systems using the GPS location to turn on Wi-Fi when you're home and off when you're away from home to manage battery and save your mobile data when you're at home. So let's look at some numbers the report found. The ACMA found that the trend in landline phones declined is being driven by younger Australians. Not really a surprise. 79% of these aged between 25 to 34 foregoing fixed line phones at home in favor of mobile only for voice calls, an increase of 27% in just 5 years. And the report also revealed that more young Australians only use their mobile for voice calls, 63% of 18 to 24-year-olds and 79% of 25 to 34-year-olds, while fewer older Australians are mobile only for voice calls at home. Overall, more than 5 million Australian adults have become mobile only for voice services at home since 2014. That has led to a 51% of Australian adults being mobile only for voice at home in the 12 months to June 2019, compared to just 27% in the year to June 2014. So in a very short amount of time, I know it's years, but that's a pretty short amount of time to have such huge drops in the numbers. Actually, let me know if you still have an old handset phone in your cupboard that you know you still haven't thrown out, but you should. Maybe this will be a good reminder to do so. On to NBN Co now. They have stayed fairly quiet this week after the circus they generated with their Internet Speed Index report last week. Hey, smash that like button if you still can't believe they made their own North Korean-like propaganda report to make themselves look good. Oh, and it seems Australia has fallen to number 61 now from 59. We stray further away from number 13 day by day, which is what they put in their report. So a little while back, NBN Co removed a tiny amount of funding from the wireless side of NBN. That tiny amount was about $200 million. And as you may remember, it was about the time we found that nearly 130,000 homes didn't exist in the wireless satellite directory of premises. Coincidence? Well, actually, the online news outlet IT News has confirmed this is a direct result of the presence of these phantom premises. They said that the 200 million that was saved by discovering the non-existent premises will go to upgrade the HFC and fiber to the curb connections. Though I would think it would be appropriate to put that money to upgrade the fiber to the node connection, but that's just my opinion. Oh, I'm sorry. Why would they do that? Well, HFC and fiber to the curb connections cost have dramatically risen, forcing NBN Co to throw more money at it. Now my question is, which version is more expensive, HFC or fiber to the curb? Because maybe we should just stick to one. Now the money wasn't physically moved, it was just a budget assigned to that use case and calculated based on the number of premises, so it makes sense that if there is less properties to connect to, it will cost less and not really a big issue. But the story doesn't really add up, it's the communication. They are now trying to clarify what they will do with this amount. I really like when NBN Co says that. It's like, oh, you are so dumb. You do not understand our business. So we will try and clarify this to your level of understanding. You know, I mentioned this a few weeks back, but full transparency between NBN Co and the public would go a long way. But this kind of crap really sends mixed messages on the reliability and trustworthiness of NBN Co. Their clarification goes against what they initially said, so technically they are going back on what they said, and that 200 mil is gonna back on the table for wireless NBN, with the caveat that it will be used in the future and not now, so kind of like a long-term spending budget just in case. Not the worst sign, at least folks on wireless and satellite will get a piece of the pie in the future if anything comes up, maybe some upgrades, but it's just they're messing around with budgets, money, and kind of making the public feel dumb and not really being transparent in what's actually happening. Friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's Dirt Report. If so, tap that like button, and if you'd like to see more content like this, then consider subscribing. Thank you very much, and bye!